The store was originally called Dimmitt's until 1976 when Crawford bought it. That's when the guns came into play. Antietam Creek here is spilling over onto Burnside Bridge Road here near Sharpsburg. That's just one of many places where flooding is a problem throughout the county. Hi, I'm Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail and HMTV6. Over the next few minutes, we're going to bring you some history over the holiday traditions and how they evolved. 150 years ago, thousands of lives were cost as soldiers fought through these cornfields during the beginning of the Battle of Antietam. In the past 2 weeks, Hagerstown residents have seen a 16-cent increase in the average price of gas per gallon. And it might get up to $4 a gallon before the spring. In the cab, the driver has 3 joysticks to control everything. This one right here controls the plows, and these 2 in the back control the tow plow. For this little town, it might have been 2002 all over again.
Things like this doesn't happen at home this close.
Just before 8 o'clock Friday morning, an employee at the Ranson, West Virginia post office said that a package had exploded, sending white powder into the air.
I thought it was anthrax.
The report created an anthrax scare among police officers until an investigation showed what really caused the explosion.
It ended up being an electrical issue that sent some smoke and pop in the building.
Ronald Fletcher of Citizens Fire Company said a fluorescent light bulb malfunction was the pop that the employee heard, and that the haze from the smoke made it look like white powder. The suspicious package contained a box of cookies.
The package had no anything harmful or chemicals or anything inside.
The people who were inside of the post office at the time were quarantined and interviewed inside of a school bus. The incident left some residents feeling a little uncomfortable.
It actually gave me that unfeeling of, I don't know how you want to word it, but gave me the uneasiness of the small town feel, the reason why I moved here.
Christina Chapman of Kearneysville, West Virginia said events like this have increased her fears since September 11th.
This is my post office and I don't feel safe right now.
Police started clearing out the scene at 12:30 and workers were allowed back into the post office after the investigation. In Ranson, West Virginia, I'm Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail. It's a place where you can grab a bite to eat and a gun to shoot.
You got pretty much a little bit of everything, and it's good food. There's, I can swing in here and get some hunting stuff.
Crawford's Confectionery in Boonesboro serves food while also selling fishing and hunting tools. It's been open for more than 30 years, baiting in locals.
I enjoy the food, the atmosphere, the customers.
Merle Crawford, the store's owner, says that he shocked a lot of customers when he began selling guns in the restaurant.
They said they never heard of a place that has food and guns and ammunition all at the same location.
He said he thought of the idea because he liked to hunt, and that there was not as much to buy from in the store when he took over as owner from Charles and Hazel Dimmitt.
They had jewelry, no tables, just a counter. They had cards.
The store was originally called Dimmitt's until 1976 when Crawford bought it. That's when the guns came into play. Pamela Rutherford has been working at the store for more than a year. She says that although customers can buy other products that might be sold in a pharmacy store, the guns are what draw lots of the attention.
People who aren't regulars here come in just because they see that sign and are so curious, do you really sell guns, ammo, and food?
She also said that it can be convenient for people to get something to eat and buy something they might need in the same place.
I'd never gone into a place where, you could get your lunch, get your bait, get your license, grab your tackle, your fishing pole, buy your live worms, and head out the door.
So when Crawford bought the store, it appears he wasn't jumping the gun. In Boonesboro, I'm Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail. Activities filled Antietam National Battlefield on Monday as it was celebrating its 150-year anniversary since the actual battle happened.
This is one of my favorite battlefields of all to visit, and this was the 150th I promised I would make.
Around 4,000 visitors were expected Monday to take part in the activities, which included a family and youth tent and a photography tent on the company street, 2 road shows from Pennsylvania and Virginia, 2 all-day hikes, and a ceremony at 12:30. It was heaven for a Civil War buff.
I always felt that this battle was the turning point for the Civil War.
So many Americans were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for what they stood for.
150 years ago, thousands of lives were cost as soldiers fought through these cornfields during the beginning of the Battle of Antietam, the bloodiest single day in American history. Monday morning, it was commemorated by a demonstration at 6:30 called Sunrise in the Cornfields. For the demonstration, park volunteer Jeffrey Baldwin spent the night in the cornfield with around 40 other people to recreate what the soldiers had to go through.
I was doing an impression of a Confederate officer down in the cornfield, and we actually spent the night with no fires on our blankets out in the cornfield.
And the demonstration the next day involved rifle firing. Reporting from Sharpsburg, this is Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail and HMTV 6. Two young children and a family of 6 died in a house fire Thursday, but neighbors said more victims could have died were it not for the heroism of the parents, Angela and Jack Lillard.
Mrs. Lillard had the baby in her carriage sitting there on the driveway, and she had just jumped off the balcony and was laying there on the ground.
Lois Willard, who lives across the street from where the fire happened on Highland Avenue in Myersville, said Angela Lillard handed her other 2 children to neighbors from a balcony, while Jack Lillard tried to go back inside to save 3-year-old Madigan and 6-year-old Sophie, both of whom died. Angela injured herself after she jumped from the balcony.
It seems like in no time, the flames got worse and worse, and all Mrs. Lillard kept going, just get my babies, get my babies. I felt so helpless.
Willard's daughter, Becky Green, said she saw the flames from their house and also went over asking Angela if they needed anything.
She kept telling me, she said, I want somebody to take care of my baby, to watch the baby.
The 4 family members who survived were all taken to the hospital along with a Middletown volunteer firefighter. Reporting from Myersville, this is Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail and HMTV 6.